The first time she walked into my office, my heart nearly stopped. There she was, the girl who used to make my childhood a living nightmare. Now she stood in front of me, clutching a resume, nervously waiting for my approval. And the best part? She had no idea that the woman interviewing her was the same girl she used to torment. I'm Vanessa, I'm 32 years old, and back in middle school, I was the quiet one, the awkward one, the girl who wore hand-me-down clothes and tried to keep her head down. And yet, no matter how invisible I tried to be, Victoria always found me. She was tall, pretty, and cruel. She didn't just tease me, she humiliated me. She'd trip me in the hallway, call me ragdoll because of my thrift store outfits, and even spread rumors that I smelled like the cafeteria's leftover fish. I remember crying myself to sleep, wishing school could be over. But life has a funny way of turning tables. Fast forward 15 years, and I wasn't the awkward girl anymore. I had built my own marketing firm from scratch. Long nights, failed pitches, and endless coffee later, I had a team of 20 employees and a roster of clients that made my younger self proud. I was the boss now, confident, respected, and in control. That morning, my assistant handed me a stack of applications for a junior position. I wasn't expecting anything unusual until I saw her name, Victoria Stone. For a second, I thought it had to be another Victoria. But no. The resume had her photo, and the memories came rushing back like a slap to the face. I almost tossed it in the trash. But something stopped me. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was fate. I wanted to see her. I wanted to see what life had done to her. So I invited her in for an interview. The moment she walked in, I recognized her instantly. She still had that perfect hair, though the confidence was gone. Her smile was nervous, her eyes darting around the room. She looked smaller somehow. Not physically, but defeated. She didn't recognize me at all. "Hi, I'm Victoria," she said softly. "Thank you for seeing me." I sat back, hiding my smirk. "Of course, Victoria. Why don't you tell me a little about yourself?" She stumbled through her answers. She told me she had been laid off from her last job, that she was desperate to find something stable. Desperate. I never thought I'd hear that word from her. Part of me wanted to throw her past in her face right then, to remind her of every cruel nickname, every tear I cried because of her. But I didn't. Not yet. Revenge, I realized, would taste better slow. After the interview, I offered her the job. My team thought I was crazy, but they didn't know the history. They didn't know what I had planned. For the first week, Victoria tried hard to impress me. She stayed late, asked questions, and even brought me coffee in the mornings. She was polite, almost timid. It was such a stark contrast to the bold, vicious girl who used to shove me into lockers. I watched her closely, waiting for the mask to slip. I thought maybe she was pretending, but no, she was genuinely struggling to fit in. She was no longer the queen bee. In my world, she was just another employee trying to prove herself. One afternoon, as I was walking past her desk, I heard her sigh heavily. She whispered to a coworker, "I hope I can keep this job. I can't afford to get fired again." Something inside me tightened. The old me, the hurt little girl, wanted to laugh in her face. But the boss in me, she was patient. By the way, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing how far these stories reach. Anyway, weeks went by, and Victoria grew more comfortable in the office. Too comfortable. One morning, she snapped at another employee during a team meeting. Her tone was sharp, arrogant, and for a moment, I saw a glimpse of the old Victoria. The bully. The girl who thought she was untouchable. And that's when I realized this was my chance. Because if she thought she could climb her way back to the top under my roof, she was in for the shock of her life. After that meeting, I knew exactly what I had to do. Victoria might have fooled the others, but I had seen her true colors. The same arrogance that once made my life miserable was creeping back. She thought she could push people around, even here. My company. My rules. I started small. I gave her projects that forced her to work with the very people she had snapped at. She had no choice but to apologize, to listen, to follow their lead. For someone like her, it was torture. I could see it in her clenched jaw, the fake smile she plastered on whenever I walked by. But the real turning point came one Friday afternoon. She stormed into my office, frustrated. "Vanessa, with all due respect, I feel like I'm being sidelined. I'm capable of more than this," she said, crossing her arms. I leaned back, studying her face. "Victoria," I said calmly, "you're here to learn, not to lead. Remember that." Her cheeks flushed. For the first time, she looked powerless in front of me, and it felt incredible. Still, I wasn't done. Revenge without truth isn't complete. So one evening, I stayed late and pulled up her personnel file. That's when I saw it, the references from her past jobs. Every single one mentioned the same thing: difficult to work with, poor attitude, clashes with coworkers. It was proof that she hadn't changed at all. She had left a trail of broken bridges wherever she went. I decided to put her to the test. The next week, I assigned her to lead a client presentation. I wanted to see if she could handle the pressure. My team was skeptical, but I told them to trust me. On the day of the presentation, she strutted in like she owned the place. For a moment, it felt like high school all over again. Her confidence, her smirk, her "I'm better than you" attitude. But halfway through, it all came crashing down. She forgot key numbers, fumbled through her slides, and when the client asked a tough question, she froze. I had to step in and salvage the meeting. The look on her face when I took over, humiliation mixed with rage, was priceless. After the clients left, I called her into my office. She sat there, eyes wide, waiting for me to explode. Instead, I smiled. "Victoria, do you know who I am?" I asked softly. She blinked. "What do you mean?" "I'm Vanessa. The girl you used to call Ragdoll. The one you shoved into lockers. The one you made cry almost every day in middle school." Her mouth fell open. Her face went pale. She whispered, "Oh my God, I didn't." "Yes, you did." I cut her off. "And now you work for me." Silence filled the room. She shifted uncomfortably in her chair, her eyes glistening. I'm sorry," she muttered. For years, I had dreamed of this moment, and I wasn't going to let it slip away. "From now on," I said firmly, "you will do exactly what I ask. You will treat every person here with respect. And when you speak to me, you will address me properly." She looked at me, confused. "Properly?" "Yes," I said. "You will call me boss." Her lips trembled as she nodded. "Yes, boss." Hearing her say it sent a chill of satisfaction down my spine. The tables had turned, and she knew it. Over the next few weeks, she kept her head down. She worked hard, stayed polite, and avoided any conflict. The office atmosphere improved, and I could see the relief in my team's faces. For once, Victoria wasn't in control. I was. Looking back now, I don't regret a thing. Some people never change. Some people need to be reminded that their actions have consequences. And in my case, karma gave me the perfect stage to deliver justice. So tell me, what would you do if your childhood bully ended up working for you? Would you forgive them, or make them face their past? Life has a way of circling back. And when it does, you'd better believe I'll always be ready to stand tall.